10 states Americans don't move to anymore. Interested to see what kind of states we got here and see why Americans aren't moving to these states. Before we do get into this, appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. Let's check out which states people are moving to.
Is your state so bad nobody wants to move there anymore? Keep watching and find out.
Okay.
In 2023, 8 states lost population. 11 pretty much broke even, and in 2024 it looks like they're going to be about the same. But in 2025, it is predicted that 10 states will actually lose population. Now there's a lot that goes into this. If you lose too much population, you lose congressmen, meaning less representation in Washington, D.C. Nobody wants that. It can eventually get down to less electoral college votes. Today we're looking at states that will be losing population and why. Got it? Get it? Good.
Let's curious. What we got? Hawaii.
Number 10, Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii, the land of sun,
People
surf,
live
and
in Hawaii?
apparently a skyrocketing cost of living. People used to flock to the island for that paradise life. You know, Adam and Eve, Garden of Eden thing with pina coladas and surf. But now it seems they're fleeing faster than me when my wife says, let's go to Target. The first big reason people are fleeing is, like I said, that cost of living. And it's everything. Groceries.
Yeah, you know what? That will do it for a lot of them, I imagine. When cost of living's high, you can't afford the place or the things around where you're living. You gotta look for somewhere else.
Rent, gas, you name it, it's more expensive in Hawaii. I'm sorry, pineapple and macadamia nuts are pretty darn cheap. I mean, who wants to spend $17 on a gallon of milk when you can just convince yourself you're lactose intolerant and forget the whole process?
Hey, yo, that is beautiful though, I ain't gonna lie. That is beautiful. That might be worth the $17 for the gallon of milk.
Hawaii consistently ranks as one of the most expensive places to live in the U.S. With housing costs about 80% higher than the national average. Who needs beachfront property when you could live in a mansion elsewhere for the same price as a shack 6 blocks from the beach filled with homeless people in Hawaii, right? Then there's the job market, or should I say lack thereof. Unless you're a surfer, bartender, or somehow involved in the thriving overpriced tourist luau industry, good luck finding a well-paying gig. Sure, the island may boast a low unemployment rate, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be grinding 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And don't even get me started on the wages. They're about 10% lower than the U.S. average, while paying more for everything else. Imagine earning less and paying more. It's like winning.
Yo. Other than Hawaii looking absolutely incredible, yeah, that's not sounding too good to actually live there, though.
A reverse lottery. And finally, let's talk about the cherry on top of this tropical disaster Sunday. Island fever. You're stuck on a rock in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and flights to anywhere else cost an arm and a leg, and probably your firstborn child. Oddly enough, it's a lot cheaper to get to Hawaii than get from Hawaii. Hawaii's population.
That's how they trap you there. That's how they get you there. Hey, you know what? I'm saying trap you there like I wouldn't like to be trapped on Hawaii. Is it really that crazy expensive? Because I wouldn't mind being trapped on Hawaii, bro.
Can drop over 7,000 residents in 2023 alone. Paradise is great until you realize you can't afford it and you're trapped there. This isn't Cuba. You can't make yourself a raft and start floating out to sea hoping to hit the mainland. In 2025, it's predicted that Hawaii will lose 0.29% of their population. Now, that doesn't sound like a big percentage, but when you're talking about populations, that is. All states are supposed to grow.
Oh, okay. Oregon.
Number 9, Oregon. If the game Oregon Trail had a soundtrack, right now it's being flipped in the other directions. They're playing it backwards because everyone's leaving. Folks are packing up their Subarus and heading out of state.
Really?
Why do you ask? Well, it turns out that all those Keep Oregon or Keep Portland Weird bumper stickers was more of a prophecy than a motto. For starters, the housing market has gone up full Portlandia on people's budgets. Housing prices have skyrocketed, making it feel like you need to sell a kidney on the black market just to afford a bungalow in Portland. Apparently, bidding wars are the state's new sport, and most residents can't keep up. And let's not forget the weather. You know, how people used to say, oh, it rains a lot, but you'll get used to it. Not so much. I mean, some people do. Not everyone does. After the millionth soggy morning and gray soul-sucking day, even...
Hey, you're making it sound really bad, I'm from the UK, man. That's every day in the UK. We're used to that.
The hardest Oregonians start to dream of a place where they can see the sun without squinting through the mists and the moss. And of course, the growing wildfire seasons, which seem determined to turn the state into a literal smoke show. If it's not raining, it's burning. Mother Nature clearly has a sense of humor.
That is a view and a half. That is a stunning view.
And it's a dark one. Lastly, let's talk about the taxes. Oregon's got no sales tax, sure, but the income tax, oh, it's high enough to make you wonder if the state's legislature is running a charity fundraiser and forgot to send you the memo. And what do you get for all those tax dollars? Well, apparently you get a whole bunch of people that are living on the streets in your neighborhood, in your parks, and on your sidewalks. Now, we're talking about Oregon, but a majority of the people that move to Oregon are moving to the Portland metro area. And here's a weird thing about Portland. You have your local government, the Portland, City Hall, mayor, and all that stuff, and you pay your tax that. Well, they have a second layer of taxes, which I can't understand. It's called Metro. So you got your taxes, and then you got your Metro taxes. And they're supposed to
wait, you got to pay 2 sets of taxes?
Take care of the homeless. Matter of fact, if you make too much money and you're living in the Portland metro area, they send you a bill, or you're supposed to pay this homeless tax. They got some fancy term for it, like the housing outreach program. It's just some government nonsense. Basically, you're paying for the homeless people to live on the streets. Now, the homeless situation in Portland is getting a little bit better, but it is nowhere.
Wait, you're paying for the homeless people to live on the streets? Wait, where is that money going exactly? Is it going to, house the homeless people? Or is it just going for, a license for them to live on the street? Is it not actually going to the homeless people, though?
Near being okay. I hadn't been on the MAX, which is the local train system, in quite some time here in Portland. Okay. Probably about 5 years. I heard nothing but it's getting worse, and it's getting crowded, and it's getting gross. I thought absolutely not, because it was the jewel of Portland not too long ago when I used to ride it downtown for work. Yeah, I was wrong. I got on it. It was pretty gross. It was overcrowded, and people were angry. We're slowly turning into New York City's subway system. Above ground and in the rain. The good news is you could still see bum fights if you drive by one on the MAX. You just look out the window. There's always some homeless people throwing blows. I don't know why they're so angry. I mean, the city gives them all kinds of money. But Oregon...
Oh, wait, so the money does go to the homeless then, yeah?
I mean, other than the Portland area, it does have other problems throughout the state. Those problems aren't major, and they're not terrible. It's just Portland, it drags down the whole state. It is predicted in 2025, Oregon will lose 0.29% of their population.
Okay, very interesting. California?
Number 8, California. People are leaving California faster than a YouTube creator bailing on a brand deal for asbestos face masks from China.
Wait, really? Oh, I got a piece of fluff on my hat still, man. Have I got it? There we go. People, I thought California is still booming.
The state has been blessed with gorgeous coastline, sun-drenched weather, and Hollywood glamour. But apparently, none of that makes up for the sky-high rent prices that leave you selling your 1940s comic book collection on Craigslist just to afford a studio apartment above a recycling center. The median home price in California? Oh, that's an easy $800,000. That's right now. It'll change in a week. It's about double what the rest of the country is paying.
Now,
if the standard cost of living doesn't drive you to flee, how about the taxes that make you feel like you're working just to pay the state's bills?
Yo, medium 800, for a house? Average house costs 800,000? Bro, that is crazy.
California has the highest income tax rate in the nation at 13.3% for top earners, which, let's be real, is a great way to make residents feel like they're donating to a charity that they didn't sign up for. Combine that with the fact that gas prices are higher than Elon Musk's net worth. Okay, maybe not that high, but you get my point. It's clear why people are packing their bags and heading to more wallet-friendly pastures. I almost said pastor. Like you're a wallet-friendly clergyman. That never happens. Then there's the wildfires, blackouts, and traffic that makes you question your life choices every time you get on the freeway. The 405 freeway in Los Angeles is ridiculous, and it should be illegal.
You know what? That would make me move out from a city as well, or state. I cannot stand traffic, bro. It is the worst thing ever. I hate it. I don't really drive that much. When I do get stuck in traffic, I literally just feel like leaving my car there and just walking.
In California is almost like living at Universal Studios on their live-action disaster set without Scarlett Johansson and special effects. I mean, you really can't blame Californians for leaving when they can trade the constant fear of their house catching fire to a less stressful life in Texas or Arizona, where where they can actually afford a home, fill up their gas tank, and maybe, just maybe, enjoy a commute that doesn't last as long as a Netflix series binge. When you look at California and look at their population growth, it has been growing since the 1840s. Probably before that, but that's when they started tracking it. Not probably. They know it was growing.
Always been growing.
Only the last couple of years has it actually, for the first time, started losing population. What's really startling about this whole thing is they're still one of the most moved to states. People are still flooding in there. The difference is more people are flooding out now.
Right. Okay, I get it. So like California's still booming. Population's really high. People are still moving to California, but more people are leaving.
For the first time ever.
Interesting.
It is predicted that in 2025, California will lose 0.33% of their population.
New York. Oh, we got the big
Number 7, New York.
Cost of living
People
again,
are leaving New York like it's the Titanic and the iceberg just announced a buy one and get one free deal on lifeboats. Sure, it's got all the glitz and glam, but New York has also become a masterclass on how to pay $3,500 a month to live in a shoebox that requires a gymnastics routine just to make it into bed. Now,
right, listen, I've seen some New York places, bro, and their rent, it is ridiculous. Like, it is ridiculous. Like you just said, $3,500 for a shoebox room for rent. Bro, it is crazy, man.
I've said before, we're talking about the state,
city,
but New York City is, for the most part, where everyone moves to. So when you talk about New York, it's dominated by New York City. That being said, prices are up in upstate and everywhere else in New York as well. But back to New York City, with already high rent prices up around 30% over the past few years, many New Yorkers have decided that they'd rather be the king of the suburbs than the malnourished of Manhattan. Because who doesn't want to spend half their salary on rent and the other half on Starbucks? Am I right? Or am I right? Am I right?
You're right.
I'm right. Now, the entire state of New York is saddled with some pretty high taxes. New York's taxes are like a bad ex. You think you're done, but they keep showing up and wanting more cash. Between state, city, and property taxes, some people are getting gouged more than a block of cheddar at a fondue party. Add in the work-from-home revolution, where people realized that they could do their job in Iowa just as well as they did it in New York City without getting yelled at by a cab driver or paying $12 for a cup of coffee.
Yo, but I'm guessing, like, a lot of people move to New York City because, like, the offices are there, right? The big businesses' offices are there. Why else would you move there? Like, that's why you move to the big cities, no? Because you're getting paid big from work. I know you guys might tell me some other reasons in the comments. I know. But listen, if you could live somewhere else and do the same similar job and get paid the similar amount, and also pay less in rent, pay less in cost of living, stuff like that, pay less in taxes, then why would you be in New York City?
Then there's the issue of safety, which has become a growing concern. Crime rates have ticked up in recent years, making some folks question if dodging scooters and aggressive pigeons is worth the daily stress. And that's just in New York City. It's up in a lot of the different cities in New York. Syracuse, Albany, you name it, their crime rates ticked up a little bit. Overall, though, over the last, I'd say, 10 years, crime rates have dropped all throughout the United States. So compared to 10 years ago, they're still down, but they're going up again. While New York is dealing with this, other states are throwing out the red carpet with promises of quieter streets, lower costs, and parking spaces. No wonder people are packing up and heading for the hills, or at
this is a funky looking building. Look at this, bro.
least the nearest state line. New York State is estimated to drop 0.3% in their population in 2025.
Damn, New York, Alabama.
Number 6, Alabama. People are leaving Alabama faster than a mosquito flees from a citronella candle. Why? Well, for starters, it's a bit of a hot mess. And not just because of the weather. Alabama's been dealing with economic challenges for years. The job opportunities are thinner than my explanation to my wife on why I need another drone. In 2023, the state's unemployment rate hovered around 2.6%, which sounds good. But when you look at who's getting the jobs, it's more complicated. Manufacturing jobs are on the decline, and younger professionals are heading to places where they can actually use their overpriced college degrees. Shocking, right? So,
yo, college degrees are overpriced, bro. I got a degree, and I think it's like added up now to like 110 grand debt. Bro, I'm not even using the degree. Can I get a refund? It's so bad, dude.
It's no wonder that people are packing up and heading to states with, more tech jobs and upward mobility.
Right.
Then there's the fact that Alabama's education system isn't exactly a beacon of excellence. Now, not talk about the universities, talk about below that. It consistently ranks near the bottom of the national education rankings, like 45th or worse, depending on the year. Basically, the equivalent of getting a participation trophy at state level. Parents, unsurprisingly, are taking their kids to states with better schools where they might actually learn how to code or, read above the 6th grade level. It's like they're finally realizing that sending their kids to an underfunded school wasn't the best investment strategy. Crazy, I know, right? And don't get me started on the healthcare. Alabama ranks 46th in the nation for healthcare. Now, some of their cities have excellent hospitals, and even the smaller communities have excellent hospitals. They just don't have enough hospitals. So access is a big part of healthcare. And if you don't have access and you don't have enough doctors, you don't have enough nurses, you don't have enough facilities, that's where the problems show up. And that's what lowers these states' rankings. People who actually care about their well-being are fleeing to places where doctors are available without a 6-month wait. And the emergency rooms don't resemble a 1970s horror movie set.
Hey, you know what? UK can relate. I know the UK's got free healthcare, which is absolutely great for people that can't afford healthcare, yeah? But the wait is crazy. I had an eye appointment that was over a year. Like, I was booking in to get an eye appointment for my, I got an eye disease called keratoconus, something like that, affects your vision. And I had to go private. Private took a month, yeah? And with the NHS, mate, I got a message back a year later saying, okay, we can get you in on this date. Bro, it's been a whole year, dude. I could have lost my eye.
Basically, Alabama's turning into a party. Everyone's leaving early because they heard there's a better one across the state line.
Okay.
It is estimated that in 2025, Alabama will lose 0.35% of their population.
They're leaving, man. They're leaving Alabama. New Mexico.
Number 5, New Mexico. New Mexico, the land of enchantment, has a bit of an enchantment problem. It's losing people faster than a gas station burrito causes regret. Despite its gorgeous sunsets and endless horizons, the state seems to have a bit of a people retention problem. Maybe it's the fact that enchantment doesn't pay the bills. You really can't just sprinkle a little of that desert magic on a grocery bill and make it disappear, or expect affordable housing to materialize out of nowhere. Between 2010 and 2020, New Mexico's population growth barely crawled at 2.8%, compared to 7.4% national average. 2.8% is the lowest growth New Mexico has had since the Ulysses S. Grant administration in 1870.
Wait, what is this? Well, what's going on here, New Mexico? Hollywood's rejects.
I don't know. Maybe they found other more enchanting places like Oklahoma. Part of the exodus might have to do with the job market. If you're not working for the government in healthcare or farming green chilies, you might find yourself refreshing your LinkedIn page like it's a dating app with no matches.
Really not
the
bad.
Unemployment rate in New Mexico is usually higher than the national average, and in 2023, it hovered around 4.6%, while the rest of the country was rocking a 3.5%. It's like playing hide and seek with jobs, and New Mexico is losing. Combine that with the median household income that's about 20% lower than the national average, you're starting to see why people are packing their turquoise jewelry and heading elsewhere. And let's not forget the housing market, which is another fun factor. While housing costs aren't ridiculous like California, they're creeping up without the economic boom to justify it. Santa Fe...
you would think, like, if people are leaving, the housing market would go down. Because isn't it all about demand with the housing market? Like, why would it go up if people are leaving?
Albuquerque have seen housing prices rise like a hot air balloon at a balloon fiesta. But wages aren't exactly following suit. So people are heading out for greener pastures. Like I've said before, humans are like grazing animals. They graze one field until it's gone, and then they move to another field. Now, it's not just the people of New Mexico. That's not the problem. It's just other states have more job prospects, better pay, and fewer tumbleweeds. It's estimated that in 2025, New Mexico's population will drop by 0.37%.
A lot? Oh, okay. So I kind of could have guessed that Alaska would be on here just because I already know about like the cost of living, the house prices, and it's quite dangerous as well, Alaska.
Number 4, Alaska.
So yeah,
people are leaving Alaska in droves, and it's not because they suddenly developed a distaste for breathtaking mountains, endless wilderness, or salmon. Okay. No, it turns out living in the middle of nature's freezer isn't as romantic as it sounds or looks on Instagram.
Right.
Those forever sunsets are pretty cool, but when you have to scrape ice off your car for 6 straight months, cool loses its charm pretty fast. Nobody ever, dreams about frostbite, seasonal depression, and the majestic beauty of slipping on black ice every single winter. Another reason for the mass exodus, the economy is, well, let's say on life support. The oil industry, once Alaska's sugar daddy, has been a bit stingy lately, thanks to declining production and lower oil prices. Unemployment rates are hovering around 4.7%, and when your job prospects are as frozen as the Yukon River, people start looking for warmer and more financially promising places. California has wildfires, homeless, and earthquakes, but at least they have a job market that's hot.
Okay,
Alaska, not so much. And don't get me started on the cost of living. Everything costs more in Alaska, from groceries to housing. You think those avocados are expensive?
Is that because of how Alaska's away from America, so the import cost is a lot more?
California? In Alaska, they're basically a luxury item. $6 for a single avocado. Oh, and don't forget your heating bill.
Wait, $6 for a single avocado? That's how much it is in Alaska? I get avocado here, it's like a pound. $1.50 maybe. Yeah, $1.50.
When winter lasts about 9 months, you're basically paying rent just to stay alive. No wonder people are packing up their bags for places where they can enjoy a warm breeze without worrying about a polar bear knocking on their front door. You're not going to see a polar bear. It's just an exaggeration. But I promise you're going to see a moose or two. Okay. It is predicted that Alaska's population will drop 0.39% in 2025.
Louisiana.
Number 3, Louisiana. Louisiana seems to be perfecting the art of losing people faster than it could throw beads at a top-heavy Mardi Gras attendee. The big reason for the exodus is the constant threat of hurricanes, floods, and other fun natural disasters like people with guns.
Ooh, wait, that's made me think. Is Florida going to be one of the top 2 because of the hurricane path and stuff like that? Destroying homes and the risk of that in the future. Maybe people are leaving.
Who wouldn't want to gamble every year on whether their house will float away or not? In fact, since 2000, Louisiana's lost nearly 40 square miles of land per year to coastal erosion. That's like an entire small town disappears annually in this state.
What?
But at least there's more water for swamp tours. I mean, those things are getting boring when you've been on like 20 of them. Now there's whole new areas to explore. Then there's the state's thriving economy. When I say thriving, I actually mean falling apart. Louisiana has some charm, but it's also a state where people earn a median income of about $54,000, which is $7,000 lower than the national average.
Wait. That's more than the UK, though. That's more... Hold up. It sounds more than the UK. UK average wage is £36,000, which is, £36,000 in dollars, which is 46,000. How much did he say?
Income of about $54,000, which...
Yeah, UK average wage is 46,000. So Louisiana, one of the worst states to live in, apparently. But what Americans aren't moving to now is 10 grand more average salary. And that's bad.
Just $7,000 lower than the national average.
Wow.
Between the struggling job market and the high poverty rate, sitting comfortably at about 19%, nearly double the national average. But then again, who needs financial security when you can have endless Mardi Gras beat?
Man, UK's broke, dude. UK's broke, dude. We'll be at the bottom of this list.
It's right. Of course, you can't forget their stellar education system. Louisiana constantly ranks at the bottom in the national educational rankings, hovering somewhere around 48th or 50th. Depends on the year and depends on which study. Because clearly, learning is optional when you've got alligator wrestling to fall back on. Yeah, so it's not hard to see why so many people are waving goodbye to the Bayou State. Okay. They're just tired of rolling the dice on natural disasters, low wages, and subpar education. It is predicted that Louisiana will lose 0.44% of their population in 2025.
Damn, Louisiana, where's everyone going, bro? I'd like to know, like, you know when people are leaving these states, are they just going to, like, the state next door or something like that?
Number 2, Mississippi.
Wait. Hold up. Mississippi and Louisiana right next to each other. What's going on there then?
He consistently ranks low in healthcare, education, and income. Many potential movers are put off by these rankings because they suggest limited opportunity for career advancement and quality of life. The state's low wages and high poverty rates add to the concerns of people seeking stability. The only reason people move here at all is because you could buy a house cheaper than you can get a 1983 Ford Escort GT.
Yo,
furthermore, the state struggles with issues like poor...
Bro, the biggest purchase that you ever do in your life pretty much will be a house. So if you can get it cheap, you're chilling. Once you got a house, it's a big payment you don't have to worry about.
Infrastructure and social tensions. There's also an issue of severe weather, like hurricanes and tornadoes. Tornadoes are very rare, but they're both very rare, but they happen and they ruin your day. And this is a deal breaker for a lot of people looking for long-term housing or build a new life. These combined factors have led many to reconsider Mississippi as a destination for putting down roots. It is predicted that Mississippi will drop in population 0.51% in 2025.
Wait, what's number one? Hey, yo, listen, I know a lot of you guys live in these states. Please tell me what it's like actually in the comments as well and how you finding it. Would you prefer to be elsewhere or you're happy where you are right now?
All right, before we get to number one, I just like to invite you to subscribe to the channel.
Hey,
I never really asked that. I know a lot of YouTubers just say that every single video, but I'd like to see the channel grow a little bit more. So if you would, just hit that like button and that
make sure you do. His link will be in the description. And you know what, try it. Make sure you click the subscribe button for me too. Cheers.
Notification button, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, on to number one.
West Virginia.
Okay.
Wait, okay, so I was wrong. I was thinking maybe Florida's on this list because like the hurricanes and stuff like that. Hey, Florida's still good. Florida's still good. West Virginia, though.
Number one, West Virginia. Once known for its coal industry, West Virginia has struggled with economic decline. The state's dependency on fossil fuels means fewer job opportunities as the country moves towards renewable energy. Now, they still do pull coal out of the ground in West Virginia, but its heyday is past. I mean, they have moved on to other things. I know a lot of people in West Virginia and other states feel like it's going to come back. It's not going to come back. It'll still be there, and it'll be there for a very long time, just not at the levels it once was. It happens to all kinds of industries, not just the coal industry. Remember when we used to get cassette tapes and VHS tapes? Anyone anymore? No, there's no reason for it. There's other things now.
You know what? Listen, I can remember VHS tape. That's like the big square with like the tape inside, then you have to like rewind it, yeah? Like when you pull it into your VHS player, you gotta take it out. To watch a movie, but you gotta rewind the whole movie, bro.
This state is starting to lean into ecotourism, which is a fancy word for outdoor activities. That's their future, I think. But West Virginia faces other challenges in healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Mountainous terrains make it difficult to build new developments and attract industries that rely on good connectivity on both roads and internet. Now, the internet part they're kind of fixing right now, so hopefully this will turn things around for them in the future. While the natural beauty is undeniable, the lack of economic and social opportunity leaves people looking for more promising places to live. Like Mississippi, you move here because it is dirt cheap to buy a house. You could buy a house here on a, full-time Taco Bell salary. I'm not even kidding. And that doesn't mean you have the money to plop down for the house. You make payments on your house as an escrow. I mentioned something like that before, and some guy went off about, I worked at Taco Bell and I only made $180 a month. They're gonna sell me a house for $180?
Whoa, wait, full-time? $180 is part-time.
So first of all, it sounds like you're working part-time and you're not very good at it. So I don't think math is your strong point.
That's what I was gonna say.
It is predicted that West Virginia in 2025
Wait, no, not what I was gonna say. What I did say, bro. I did say that. Part-time.
Drop population by 0.60%.
Then leave it.
All right, that's today's...
Yo, very, very interesting, though. See some states in there I was surprised with California, New York, or maybe I shouldn't have been surprised with them. I don't know. Interesting video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know if you guys are from any of these states as well. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you put a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. Live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.